Majority of Americans believe Clinton knowingly lied about what was in her email. So is she wounded politically? Let's bring in our Fox News political insiders. From Charleston, South Carolina tonight, Pat Caddell, former pollster for President Jimmy Carter and Fox News contributor. John Leboutiller, former Republican congressman for New York. And Doug Schoen, former pollster for President Bill Clinton and Fox News contributor himself. All right, I'm going to start with you. Is she nicked?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every poll now is showing that. The Fox News poll, which I think we'll get to later, shows her under 50%, as you suggested earlier in the broadcast. The Iowa numbers are showing her down to a 19-point lead. She's at 50% there. And in New Hampshire, we have polling that has Bernie Sanders ahead with close to 60% across the board, doubting her trustworthiness, Harris. I think she's more than nicked politically. I think she is in profound political trouble.
All right, so what I pointed out when Kevin Corke reported from the Vineyard tonight, the gap, though, is really what counts here. Because back in mid-July, they were 40 percentage points apart. Now they're only 19. I think that's the bigger story rather than what separates them, John. It's the fact that it's shrinking, cut in half.
Everything with Hillary is a downward trend. Okay, on her against Sanders, it's down in every state. It's not so much that Sanders just is going up; it's that Hillary is deteriorating. And the evidence of this is not just in the polls, but it's in the fact that even the most pro-Hillary people in Washington are now speculating, well, maybe we ought to get Gore in the race, maybe we ought to get Biden in the race, maybe Kerry's going to run. Why would they even talk about it if they thought she was a winner? The answer is they're scared to death she will lose the White House.
All right, I have two questions for Pat. I'm hoping you'll be quick on the first one so I can get to the second one. Is it time, as Rudy Giuliani has suggested, for Hillary Clinton to get a criminal attorney?
She has one.
Well, she's going to need one. She's one.
She's David Kendall.
Hey, yep.
Let him talk.
She's one email away from being one and done. They find an email that when they look, I said all along I did not understand why she printed out 55,000 hard copies of emails. And rather than handing over them electronically, I said at the time I couldn't understand it. Now I do. When you hand over paper, you can edit paper. They find one of those that has been on top of was marked top secret, which those signet emails were, and she's gone.
Wow.
That's all you need. Out of 60,000, one will do it, and she's done.
So the gentleman here says she already has a criminal attorney. I guess my question, along with Rudy Giuliani's, would be, well, when is he going to take front and center on this? I mean, when does she have him out front? We'll have to see. All right, real quickly. If you are Joe Biden, or you are somebody like an Al Gore, Pat, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking about running for president real hard, real quick. Vice President Biden was only 30 miles away from me, and I used to attend those meetings, but I didn't get any calls. But I felt the vibrations all the way from Kiowa to Charleston. As he thought about this, they're in serious thinking mode. And all of the talk from the Washington insiders, it's too late, you can't raise money, you can't, it's just crap. These people know as much about that as they understand about what's going on in the election itself. She is, as I said, metastasizing cancer on her candidacy.
How does this read inside the Republican Party? I mean, you have 17 candidates, so are you watching very much what's going on across the political aisle?
You would have until Trump came along. And Trump is such a big factor for the other 16 to overcome. They're really struggling to figure out what's my route if I'm one of them? What's my route to win the nomination to take on a potential Hillary Clinton? And that is what they're struggling with. Plus, they don't get the airtime. Trump gets all the airtime.
All right, Doug, this technically is for John from Randy Belay, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Would John, in this case Doug, like to make some news by revealing the, quote, not in the race yet candidate?
Well, I have said, and John may well have his own alternative, but I've said all along that Mitt Romney is waiting for this field to shake out. And if it is deadlocked, or if there is no clear alternative to the Donald, I am predicting here and now, trying to make news, that Mitt Romney will re-enter the race and be the savior of the Republican Party. That's what I believe.
All right, on the Republican side, real quickly, DJ writes, move along, nothing to see here. Hillary Clinton will survive and become the candidate.
Well, it's conceivable she could survive. I mean, let's face it.
I think it's more than conceivable, John. I think she's still the front runner, and with Biden not coming in until South Carolina, I think
Pat is moaning, and we'll get into that in a moment.